Every day, she sleeps with a man who is working for her disabled husband. Little does she know, she starts to lose her friends, wealth, status, and her husband. Constance Rain, or Connie, is a young woman and a blushing bride getting ready to marry her fiancé, Clifford Chatterley, an army officer and a lord. She's excited about the ceremony and being with Clifford. She loves him very much. During the wedding reception, Clifford's family is more excited about Clifford and Connie giving an heir. With new love in the air, they dance together, and Connie enjoys Clifford's company. That night, they talk about wanting children. Clifford, though he wants them, still respects Connie's decision. In the next few days, Clifford informs Connie about his going to war due to an ongoing war. Connie feels sad as Clifford is set to leave for a while, but he reassures her that he'll be back soon, bidding her farewell before heading off for his duty. Connie reminds Clifford to send her letters. While in battle, Clifford sustains a major injury that leaves him paralyzed from the waist down, necessitating support for walking. They move out of London and relocate to the expansive Chatterley mansion for a more comfortable life. Connie is still vibrant and positive despite what has happened. Despite Connie's assurances of unwavering love, there is some loneliness lingering on. Connie admits their whole life has changed. She has been helping Clifford and assisting him with his needs. However, Connie's needs are not being met by Clifford due to physical inability, but Connie is fine with it, though her face says otherwise. The Chatterleys are vetting workers to help renovate the mansion. One man, though, catches Clifford's interest, Oliver Mellors, who is like him, a military veteran. As a hobby, Connie constantly writes to her sister Hilda. She feels bored, though not living in London. She assists Clifford sometimes in his writing, and sometimes they have parties, but only with Clifford's friends. That's because Connie's friends think misfortune is contagious. Clifford, now working for the military postal services, keeps busy while Connie grapples with a feeling of missing out on life's experiences. Connie, though, wants to go to London to visit Hilda, but Clifford insists that Hilda visits instead because he needs Connie. She goes downtown for May Day and gets greeted by the children. However, she bumps into minor protesters. In the morning, Connie goes out for a walk, wheeling Clifford, and they bump into Oliver Mellors, the ex-military man that Clifford has hired. Later on, Connie and Clifford's conversation turns to wanting a child, and due to Clifford's physical limitations, he suggests Connie consider seeking another man to impregnate her. Clifford assures that the act of conception is impersonal and will not judge her as long as Connie guards her feelings. Also, he would not mind and would raise their future child as their own because they need an heir. He describes it as only a trip to the dentist. Connie, though, is in disbelief that this is coming out of Clifford's mouth. They walk back, but Connie, looking seriously pissed, walks ahead and leaves Clifford behind. Clifford's writing career is taking off slowly. Still, Connie feels stuffy and bored. A man walks up to Connie, starts lightly touching her, and flirts with her. Clifford sees this and decides never to invite that man again. Connie can't eat well since their last conversation and tells this to Clifford, but he just ignores her and becomes overexcited about a review of him in a newspaper, which turns out bad. At this point, there is tension between their marriage. Hilda later on visits, and upon her arrival, Connie breaks into tears. Hilda observes that Connie looks sick and that no one is looking after her as she always works for Clifford. Out of pity, Hilda decides to address the issue with Clifford, emphasizing Connie's youth and genuine love for him. She contends that Clifford has no right to treat Connie like a slave and that she deserves some personal freedom. Hilda proposes the idea of hiring a maid for Clifford's care, and to this, Clifford agrees. Mrs. Bolton, the newly hired maid, takes over as Clifford's primary servant. Connie is relieved. One day, Connie checks on some pheasant chicks and unexpectedly sees a naked man taking a bath. She knocks on the door and meets Oliver Mellors to ask about the chicks and get to know him more. Apparently, Oliver's wife, Bertha, left him for another man while he was fighting in the war. Connie visits Oliver again one more time, but thinks Oliver doesn't want her there. Eventually, Oliver gives a spare key to Connie, and she visits quite often. Connie again feels lonely as Clifford is busier with his new venture. Connie goes to Oliver's hut and experiences a panic attack, hugging Oliver. She attempts to seduce him, and despite his initial resistance, Oliver eventually gives in to their heated moment. Connie, satisfied, returns home and takes a bath, realizing it's something she'd been missing for a long time. Connie attempts to seduce Oliver once more, but he advises against it as he is concerned that people will talk about them. Seemingly not caring, Connie kisses Oliver, and Oliver gives in again, enjoying their intimacy. In the midst of the action, Connie walks out and Oliver follows her. She asks him if it feels like they're strangers, and they kiss, promising to meet again in the cottage. Clifford is in full-on mode about his mining ventures and opens up the conversation about having an heir again. Oliver and Connie continue their heated affair, making it their regular routine, and their passion reaches a point where both Connie and Oliver find it challenging to restrain themselves. She visits Mrs. Flint and takes care of her baby. Mrs. Flint tells Connie about the wonders and joys of being a mother. Then, coincidentally, Oliver visits to get fresh milk. Oliver flirts with Connie, but she feels uneasy. Oliver invites her to the cottage. Connie later leaves, and then Oliver catches up to her. Oliver and Connie find themselves in the middle of the woods and engage in their intimate activities again, with Connie expressing a desire for Oliver to be coarser. Before long, they develop deep feelings for each other and fall more deeply in love. Shortly after, Connie begins to notice that her breast size is growing large and thinks she is pregnant. Connie and Mrs. Bolton sit down for a talk, and she tells Mrs. Bolton that she may have a child with Clifford's since he is getting better. Aware of her condition, she refrains from informing Clifford immediately. Later, Oliver, impatiently waiting for Connie, passes by the estate to check on her. At the same time, Mrs. Bolton notices Oliver hanging around and comments that Connie leaves early on her walks again. Mrs. Bolton spreads the rumor about Connie having a child, leading Clifford to approach Connie about the rumors. Connie shares with Clifford her desire to spend some days away with her sister Hilda, and Clifford approves, believing it's acceptable, anticipating Connie's potential conception. Subsequently, Connie visits Oliver to share the news. She explains that her temporary absence is necessary, intending to disclose her pregnancy to Clifford upon her return. She expresses that she needs to keep her relationship with Oliver a secret initially, using the trip to Venice as a cover for an affair. But Oliver does not take it well, as he thinks that Connie is just using him to get pregnant. In response, Connie clarifies that her actions are driven by love, leading to a heated disagreement before she departs the following day. Later, during a walk up the hill, Oliver arrives to help Clifford, who is becoming insufferable with his motor wheel bike. Both of them push it up, and Connie steals a kiss from Oliver behind Clifford, but Oliver leaves suddenly. At home, Connie berates Clifford for his attitude towards Oliver. Feeling she doesn't love Clifford anymore, Connie pays him another visit. This time, she expresses her deep love for him and discloses her contemplation of divorcing Clifford, as she believes her life would be wasted with him. Learning of Connie's plan to live with him, Oliver becomes elated, and they attempt to be intimate. Suddenly, as rain begins to fall, Connie's fondness for it emerges. Connie and Oliver decide to embrace the moment, shedding their clothes and venturing outside, enjoying running together. Meanwhile, Clifford grows anxious as Connie hasn't returned and it's raining. Concerned, he instructs Mrs. Bolton to check on Connie. But surprisingly, Mrs. Bolton discovers Connie with Oliver, sharing affectionate moments. The following day, when Connie returns home, Clifford loses his composure and directs his anger at her for what he perceives as carelessness. Subsequently, Hilda arrives to meet Connie as they are set to depart for a trip to Venice. Excitedly, Connie discloses her newfound love, and when she reveals it's Oliver, their servant, Hilda is left disappointed. Hilda cautions Connie, asserting that she is confusing her desires and physical urges with genuine love, emphasizing the potential harm to her reputation. Hilda stresses to Connie the importance of not engaging intimately with anyone in this manner. In response, Connie asserts that her connection with Oliver goes beyond mere physical satisfaction. It's rooted in a profound love for him. Subsequently, Connie brings Hilda to Oliver's residence to facilitate their introduction. Concerned about Clifford discovering their relationship, Hilda inquires about their plans. Connie reassures Hilda that nothing can come between them now, given the depth of their love and affection. Hilda leaves with a stern warning that Oliver can't support Connie once he loses his job. Later on, Ned, the man of Oliver's wife Bertha, whom she runs away with, knocks on the door one morning because Bertha is in need of Oliver's money, being that they are not yet divorced. Oliver warns him, pointing a gun, so Ned runs away. Hilda picks Connie up, and they prepare for their trip to Venice. Before parting, Oliver and Connie share a moment of intimacy driven by the impending separation. Mrs. Flint, though, sees Connie coming out of Oliver's place. Connie reveals to Hilda that she is pregnant and tells her father that she is in love with another man and wants to divorce Clifford. But her father insists not to due to the benefits of being married to Clifford. Ned later on barges into Oliver's home to steal money, but finds Connie's personal belongings there. He goes to the pub and tells the other guys about it. Simultaneously, rumors about Oliver and Connie's affair begin circulating in the English town, gradually reaching Clifford's attention. Feeling deeply embarrassed, Clifford summons Oliver and gives him one day to vacate Chatterley Estate. Mrs. Bolton urgently contacts Connie in London, telling Connie that Oliver is going to get fired. Connie immediately rushes back to confront Clifford. Upon their meeting, Oliver is already packing his belongings. Despite Connie's attempts to dissuade Clifford, he asserts that it's currently best for them to part ways. Before leaving, Oliver assures Connie that he will find her, and they will reunite. Connie then faces Clifford, expressing her desire to end their tasteless marriage. She expresses how Clifford never gave her attention or reciprocated her affections. Clifford, though, swears he will not divorce her. Mrs. Bolton tearily bids her farewell. Connie goes to Venice, but is feeling sad and is now growing pregnant. But because she's a single pregnant woman, she attracts the wrong attention. Connie still longs for Oliver, feeling an overwhelming sense of loneliness. However, her solitude is disrupted when she receives a letter from Oliver, who has secured a new job in Scotland. Overjoyed by Oliver's invitation to join him, Connie decides to make the journey. Driving her car, she covers a distance of 800 kilometers to reach Scotland. Upon arrival, Connie commences her search for Oliver, and soon they reunite, embracing each other. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.